All right. Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to Cruise Chat Live. I'm Donovan, your host, an independent travel advisor with EOK Travel Company. We're your experts in planning your cruise travel all around the world, whether it's to Europe, Alaska, the Caribbean, and places everywhere. We can help match you with the right cruise experience for you and make sure that you get a great deal all at the same time. So we've been doing these for the last several weeks and are excited to have Jodi with Regent Seven Seas on today. Let us know in the comments where you're from. Also, drop all of the questions you might have so that we can hear straight from the expert, Jodi. Jodi, thank you so much for coming on. We really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to have you. And I'm pretty sure you have a lot to share with us about Regent Seven Seas.
I do. Thanks, Donovan. I think there's a perception of luxury cruising sometimes about what it is and what it's like on board. And I want to share so much because I want to help you change that perception that you may have of luxury cruising and being all inclusive and show you how much you would love if you're ready to start cruising on smaller ships. So
I think you are spot on. I talk to folks all the time, and with some of your mainstream cruise lines that everybody knows and hears about, right? When you start adding in all of these extra packages and excursions and gratuities and all these other things that you don't necessarily think about right at the get-go, it's like I could have probably taken a better cruise on a smaller ship
yep.
and had an even better time. So I'm super excited to kind of go through that. I think you have some things you're going to share with us. So I'll flip over to that screen and bring you up. I see the Seven Seas Grandeur. It looks like a beautiful ship.
Yes, it absolutely is. That's our newest ship right now, currently sailing. And I'll talk here in a little bit and show you some images and some quick videos of another new class of ship coming in December of 2026. Wow. So we're very excited.
Awesome. Now, for those who may not know, so Regent Seven Seas, you belong to a whole cruise family. So who are your sister brands that maybe we have heard of before?
We are part of Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings. So NCL, of course, everybody's heard, there is our contemporary sister. And Oceania Cruises is our luxury sister, and Regent is the ultra luxury older sister.
Sure, very good. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I heard a few months ago there was a big announcement about status matching across the brands. Is that accurate?
Yes, absolutely. So if you are sailing on Oceania and want to move up to Regent, or you love your loyalty status and everything that you have now, we are matching it between all three brands.
Okay, that is awesome. And I'm even thinking, I've had a lot of folks who have cruised Norwegian that we've helped plan their cruise vacations there. And, it's really funny. I myself personally, just speaking about me, I am not like a cruise line loyalist to anybody. I like to try all of them, but there are some folks out there. Whether it's Norwegian or one of the other cruise lines, they are loyal. So it's really hard to get them to move and try something different. So I love the status matching. Just makes it a little bit easier to try out something new.
Yes. And two, Donovan, and what I see a lot is, I'll hear that, oh, they don't want to move because they're getting whatever their loyalty benefits are. And so when I ask, well, what are these benefits that they're getting on these other lines? And I found that, well, that's just something that we include anyway in the cost of our cruise. It's just an standard inclusion for us. So, that you have to look at that too.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. So awesome. Well, I'm going to turn it over to you, kind of let you just dive in and tell us all about it. I'll keep an eye on the comments and kind of pop in if anything comes up. Okay.
Sure. All right. Thanks, guys. Well, and thanks for, everybody that's joined and listening or watching the recording afterwards. So I am Jodi Murphy, and I've been with Regent. It actually is coming up on 26 years now this January.
Wow.
I know, right? I started when I was 10, and then,
here you are.
Yep, here I am now. But I started in the call center, and, I had my first experience on Regent just not long after I started. And I said to myself, I'm like, I'm never leaving this company. It's amazing. And thankfully I've made it through a lot of changes and seen a lot and seen an evolution of our brand, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm still here to be able to share it with everybody. So it's amazing. So I wanted to show this little quick video first about who we are, if you are not familiar with Regent.
I'm sold. Sign me up right now.
I know. I was just on in September, and it was such an amazing experience. Well, that makes me want to go on again, So
I can imagine, yeah.
yes, but at Regent, so we believe that what sets us apart from all of the rest is our immersive exploration, heartfelt hospitality, luxurious space, and Epicurean perfection. And between these pillars, honestly, I feel like the heartfelt hospitality is one of the bigger ones because the crew on board and guests become family. And it is something that is big for me and feeling like family. Regent has always been a family in my eyes to myself. And then in luxurious space, because the space on board Regent is something that is very unique. Our average crew to guest ratio is 1 to 1.4. And that is something that sets us apart from all of the rest and coming from a small ship. So this is a slide that shows based on who we believe are our competitors and where and showing that we are the most inclusive luxury experience out there. So we check all of those boxes from start to finish. We include literally everything in the cost of the cruise. So you can go on Regent and never pay a dime unless you want to. In fact, when I was on in September, I had $100 bill at the end, and that was only because I cash advanced myself $100 from the reception. So I did shore excursions. I had specialty dining. I had drinks. I had Wi-Fi. I had laundry. Literally everything. Yes. I didn't have butler service myself on that one, but gratuities, it's literally everything is included on Regent. So I'll show you a slide too after a bit, but it really shows that. So it looks like it's a lot less when you get on some of these other ones if you're sailing in suites and balconies, but then like you said, you have to pay all of these things when you get on the ship, right? So this is one of my favorite slides really of all time because it shows you just that size difference. And this is not even our smallest ship. This is a 700 passenger, all suite, all balcony ship. And so with this, I feel like you can imagine that embarkation and the disembarkation process. There are no lines on Regent. And I've recently experienced some of these larger ships and having to wait in line for 20 minutes to get a drink. And so it is not that on board a Regent ship. It is a whole different experience. So as we were talking in the beginning, Seven Seas Grandeur is our newest in the fleet, and this ship came out in December of 2023. So this will give you an idea of what our 3 new class ships look like.
Wow,
Right.
that is incredible. And I tell you, I'm watching that and I'm hearing everything that you're talking about with lines. And, I have some people out there that come to me and they're like, hey, we're not cruise people or we've never cruised. And all we see is these crowds and lines and waiting for everything. And I'm like, here is your answer. And something I want to point out to folks that may not know, I think you said earlier, crew to guest ratio was basically like 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.4, something like that.
Yep.
So basically one crew member to every guest. And I just want to share with folks, like on your average, big ship cruise with the main cruise lines that everybody hears about, it's not uncommon for there to be one crew member per like 3 or 4 guests, right? And so you've got 5 or 6 thousand people on some of these mega ships, and you may only have like 1,000 crew member, 1,200 crew members. So that difference in level of service that you're going to get, to your point, it's real.
Mm-hmm. And once you have that and experience that, you don't want to go back to anything else.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with that, right? So our largest ship that we have currently is 746 guests. So our newest class of ship is called the Explorer class, and that includes Grandeur, Splendor, and Explorer. And these are all suite, all balcony ships. And then our legacy fleet, Voyager, Mariner, and Navigator. So Voyager and Mariner are sister ships. Those are 700 guests and all suite, all balcony. And then Navigator is our smallest ship and the only ship that we have that is not all balcony. There are 2 categories on Navigator that have window suites. So, and 496 guests, I mean, and very small. But when you are on board a sold out sailing, you don't know that it's sold out. You might think that it's 60% full, because it's just not, there's not people everywhere all the time. It's very different and hard to explain, I think, and I've had the experience of sailing on other cruise lines. And so it helps me be able to share that difference that we offer. So I thought I'd show a few images though of some of our suites, and they're all suites, remember. So they come with amazing amenities on all of the ships, but they're so spacious, and these aren't the very top suites, that I'm even showing you for. This is, one of the top suites, but they are gorgeous. They're home away from homes, the best amenities. Some have butler. There is one suite on our Explorer class vessels called the Regent Suite, and it is the most exclusive address at sea. We say it's 4,443 square feet.
Wow.
It's crazy. But on our new class ship, which I'll show you here soon, that suite is even bigger. And then so we talked about. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, I mean, something that just really stood out to me. I mean, I've been on a lot of cruise ships across lots of lines, and none of those pictures to me looked like a traditional cruise ship cabin. I mean, other than the fact that you look out your window or the door and you see a balcony, you see the ocean. Other than that, none of those looked or felt like I was on a cruise ship, honestly. So very well appointed, just different than what you might otherwise experience on sea. So I love it.
And what you assume, or what people assume, is what a cruise is like. They just don't know yet because they haven't experienced Regent. Yep. So we talked about too in the beginning that specialty dining is included. So, you could spend a lot of money on specialty dining on cruises that you have to pay for it. Yep. And you can probably, agree with that. So we have multiple specialty dining venues throughout all of our fleet, but just to give you an idea and maybe show you some food pictures, because I've already had lunch where I am, but maybe you haven't. But
who doesn't like some food pics,
right? Prime 7 is our steakhouse. You can get obviously your steaks, your surf and turf. They have this famous 14-layer chocolate cake in Prime 7, but there's also one I don't have a picture of. My favorite is this caramel popcorn sundae. It's to die for. And
Oh,
then
wow.
this is actually our main dining room, Compass Rose, but a lot of people say that it is genuinely their favorite specialty restaurant at sea when it's not even specialty. But because there are so many options to choose from, there is a huge menu. Half of it changes daily, and the other half stays the same, but many types of different options to choose from ultimately in Compass Rose. And in Compass Rose, you can go whatever the hours are open with however many people that you have, and we will seat you. So lots of options in Compass Rose. And then another specialty venue is Chartreuse. It would be our French restaurant. It's sort of a French with a modern twist type venue, which I also like it very much. One of my favorites, though, is Pacific Rim. This is an Asian fusion restaurant. So you can get,
Wow.
your sushi, your sashimi, sake even, but lots of different options there. And then La Veranda, which is during the day, it's our buffet venue called La Veranda for breakfast and lunch. But at night, half of it turns to this Italian eatery called Sette Mare. And that menu also changes daily. So it's a specialty, yet it's not. We don't require reservations for Sette Mare, but lots of different options here. Larger portions, I
Wow.
would say, in Sette Mare. But what I'm most excited to share, especially right now, is that, and we've got this information, is the information on our brand new class of ship, Seven Seas Prestige. So for us, this is the first new class in nearly a decade. And this ship for us is really going to be a new legacy for Regent. Now, the Prestige class will hold 822 guests only. We'll have an additional dining venue. One fun fact, if you like numbers to share, is that this ship will hold, so 822 guests. We're adding 10% more guests, but 40% more space. So guests are not even going to notice those additional guests on board. And then the Skyview Regent Suite, the largest, most inclusive suite at sea. This suite is nearly 9,000 square feet, 2 levels, its own private
Wow.
elevator. And I have a little quick video to show you what it's going to look like. And then our atrium is going to be like none that we have ever done before. It's called the Starlight Atrium. And so the stairs eventually meet together, and then you'll see that open window at the very top where the sun and the sky will be able to come through. And
Wow.
yeah, I mean, so excited. Actually, I have a video of this one too. So while it feels large, it's just, but you'll know it's not that large, but it feels like that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So a new also Mediterranean restaurant on board, the Prestige class. We don't have a Mediterranean venue currently. This will be called Azure, and it will be a tapas style venue designed for sharing. And so we expect it to be a lively type of restaurant. So we're excited there. The pool and the pool grill, I think, looks like nothing that we've seen on a ship.
Yeah, look at that. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's more of like a resort, and the beach and the sand is just steps away. But no, I mean, this is on a cruise ship. And then we've got some new suite categories that we're offering. We have a Skyview Luna suite. Now this one looks like, I feel like an upscale type New York City apartment. This is also 2 levels. There's, I think, 6 of these suites. And it also has an elevator, which takes it to the very top of the ship to their own private veranda. So I have this one last video regarding the new ship here. I'm just envisioning myself.
That is incredible.
Yeah, there in my own private hot tub at the top of the ship. Like the space. So remember, with Regent, the space is something that is huge and really sets us apart.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I mean, that's unlike anything I've ever seen on a cruise ship, honestly.
Well, then we're gonna have to get you on at least or any of the ships, of course, to see and have that experience for sure. We also have a new Grand Loft suite category. So you've got floor to ceiling windows. You've always got that perfect ocean view. And then Horizon Penthouse Suites. We have Horizon Suites now, but the balcony is so large. It's got its own dining table, its own, chaise lounge chairs, couch setting. So they're very, very spacious. But as far as, and moving into the ultra luxury space, we're upgrading 2 of our classic fleet ships, Mariner and Voyager. Mariner is actually in refurbishment right now, and Voyager will go to refurbishment in April. So we're refurbishing all of the suites, everything from marble bathrooms, all of the colors, and then throughout the ships, of course, the decor and all of the textiles and everything will be updated throughout all of the ships. And we are adding an Epicurean enrichment studio on Mariner and Voyager. We have a culinary arts kitchen on our Explorer class vessels, but since these are existing ships, we couldn't actually add a kitchen. So we're adding this enrichment studio. So, a culinary center. So there will still be options on these ships to have that Epicurean enrichment and engagement. So we're very excited to see that too. And then here, another reminder of everything that we include on board Regent. And I think, one of the biggest things is the shore excursions. And I'm sure that shore excursions it can really add up in the amount of money you spend on shore excursions on cruises.
Oh, definitely. Especially you start talking about destinations like Alaska is a good example. I mean, they're not cheap. So to have options, right, and unlimited, I like that word there, unlimited short excursions. That is incredible. So
yeah, if you're in port a long time, you can do an excursion in the morning and in the afternoon, or in the evening, depending on how long you're there, and they're included. Of course, we do have tours that you can upgrade to, but honestly, I never do, because I find everything that I would like to do in the included shore excursion list. So sure. That is something that does really add up. But unlimited drinks. So this isn't even just alcohol. It's bottled water, specialty coffee, freshly squeezed juice at breakfast, soda, all of that. There's no packages. There's no confusion of what package should I get.
Simple.
Yeah. It's just included, and you don't have to give a card out, even if you have a package to, to verify it. There's no cards unless you're, needing to get back into your suite. So I
Yeah.
love that as well.
Can you touch on something I see here that I don't think people, because I don't know, it's not something everybody has experienced, but I don't think people understand what it can mean to have in-suite dining and like just that experience of having breakfast or having dinner in your own private suite, right near your balcony, on your balcony. Can you just kind of talk like what that experience could look like for somebody?
Well, on Regent, they will come in with their white tablecloth, set it out on your table, whether it's in your suite or your balcony, because the suites have enough room that you could dine in your suite or on your balcony. But they set out the white tablecloth and bring in everything that you've ordered. If you set it out the night before, like a typical at hotel or other cruise line. And honestly, I've even written in some things before and that wasn't on the menu and they brought it.
Wow.
There's something called, I don't know if you've ever heard of a cronut before, Donovan. Have you heard of that?
I don't think so. Tell us more.
So cronut, it's so good. It's basically, I describe it as a donut and a croissant had a baby. So it's filled with delicious cream, and every day there's a different flavor, but filled with delicious cream and fried like a donut, but it's flaky layers. So anyway, they're different every day. I mean, they have a strawberry, there was a Nutella one, there was a peanut butter, chocolate, like everything. So anyway, I wanted a cronut and I wrote it in and they brought it to me.
That's incredible. It sounds delicious.
Oh, it is. You'll have to try them. But they bring in, so you can sit in your bathrobe, your plush robe that we provide, and your slippers, in your suite. Just relax and have a nice breakfast by yourself, even though you won't. There's not a lot of people on the ship, but it's nice to be able to do that.
I mean, I'm just thinking like, there's a lot of different reasons out there, but I mean, just that come to mind, honeymooners, milestone anniversaries, just as a couple things that come to mind where it's like this type of experience would really make a lot of sense and just really make it a memorable vacation forever.
Yes.
So
absolutely. 100%. Also valet laundry. That one honestly is probably one of the favorite inclusions. You can send your laundry. Yeah, it's wonderful. So you could send your laundry every single day. If you have it outside of your door by 9 a.m., you will get it back the same day. But it comes back either on the hanger or if you requested it to be folded. When you request it to be folded, it comes back wrapped in tissue paper with a Regent sticker on it, in this box with a clear lid. Just the little details, it's great to have that. Excuse me. But this slide, so this is where it shows that value that we offer and that value that our clients love to have and know that they get with Regent. So our price is always going to seem higher when you're comparing it to a premium cruise line when you're sailing in a suite or a balcony. But again, you don't have to pay for anything else on board Regent. And I think that some of these numbers, and you could probably even attest to it, Donovan, on the premium cruise line, I mean, those are kind of low. They could be a lot higher, with alternative dining, $79. I know I've spent a lot more than $79 on dining when I've other cruise lines too.
Yep. Yeah, so I would say from my experience, I mean, I have, in the last 6 months, I've probably booked, I do a lot of Alaska with clients. And so I've probably booked 200 Alaska cruises on a variety of cruise lines. And I would say it is not difficult to spend the amounts that you're seeing here or even more for, I'm not going to call it a lesser experience, but just a different experience. And again, I think a lot of people, right, maybe they've heard of Regent or, some of the other ultra luxury brands or kind of entry to luxury brands, but they just don't know. And then, you may have touched on it a little bit earlier, but there's this perception that, you hear the word luxury and then people think stuffy, or they
Mhm.
think I've got to pack my, tuxedo
Mhm.
and all of that sort of thing, that it's very formal. And it's really like, I guess, can you just talk to us, like, what is the vibe like on board an average, cruise with Regent?
I'm glad that you brought that up because I think that that does hold a lot of people back from sailing with Regent or, other luxury, ultra luxury cruise lines. But the vibe, I would say most people are just everyday people, just like you and I. They just love
Yeah.
the value of having everything included and the smaller ship and the no lines. Of course, there's always going to be some of those people, but it is not pretentious and stuffy on board Regent. And in fact, we don't have formal nights. There's no jackets or ties required, no tuxedos, no ball gowns. Our dress code is
Yeah.
very relaxed in the sense that it would be country club casual during the day, more elegant casual at night. But as of August 1st, we actually now allow jeans after 6 p.m., which we didn't before. So refined denim. So of course, um, jeans that have no rips and tears and
Right.
neutral or classic looking dress sneakers like we see many men wearing all the time these
Sure.
days. So I think that hopefully knowing that you might have a better idea and would consider Regent now in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Now, let me ask you, and you've kind of touched on it a little bit, but something that comes up a lot too, I find just talking to folks, but the entertainment and what things are there to do actually on the ship, right? They don't want to be bored. So can you just kind of talk through kind of what that looks like?
Yep. So our ships are not the destination like some of these, but there are things to do. We do have shows, just as the other ships have, and we do Broadway style shows, theatrical type shows, magicians. There's a Regent band. We've got many bars and lounges. During
Yeah.
the day, if there's a sea day, we offer different types of games on board that guests can do. There's tea time. There's crafting, trivia, which is a really big thing. People get very competitive with the trivia and
Yes,
the
they do.
bingo. Yeah. So there are plenty of things to do, but if you're looking for the ship is the destination type, that isn't who we are. We have one page of what's going on in the day, not multiple because the ship is so big. So yeah.
Sure. No, and I think that's a good point too, is it really allows you to have whatever type cruise you want, right? You can be just super relaxed and enjoy the ship, obviously enjoy the destinations that you're going to, but you don't have to feel, beholden to some schedule of, this and this and this and this and this. You can kind of, just make it whatever you want. So what I heard and what I'm hearing is that there's plenty to do, and then there's also plenty to not do if you want to just relax and enjoy, kind of enjoy the cruise itself. So yeah, that
Yeah.
sounds, I mean, for me, I'm ready to sign up yesterday. This sounds amazing.
Yep. Yeah, me too. Um, so but also, and I wanted to point out multi-generational cruising because a lot of people, I mean, average age of Regent client is about 63. Our past guests are very loyal. But you will find
Sure.
in select destinations in the summer that there could be some kids on board Regent with multi-generational cruising. We've got a kids program in the summer that we offer. So if you are a family and you want to go together, Regent is still an option as well.
Sure. Very good. Yeah. Thanks for the
Yep.
kiddos. That's important.
Yeah. And so with enrichment and so forth, I mean, we even have spotlight voyages with Spotlight on Golf. There's a lots of food and wine. We have a partnership with Formula One and Fabergé, and we have the Culinary Arts Kitchen as well on our Explorer class vessels. And there is a cost to the culinary class. It's $99. The best 2 hours I had, it was so fun to do a culinary class. And I'm not the cook in my house. I have to admit that, but I was pretty proud of myself coming home with all these recipes and things that I could do. So, and also, and being that we have small ships, we go everywhere. We have 550 destinations that we visit worldwide. But because our ships are smaller, we can visit these ports that large ships can't get into as well. So you could have more things checked off your bucket list. If anybody is ever interested, I know this year solar eclipse cruises are a big thing. We do have some that will have viewing opportunities. Of course, we can't guarantee that, but they're there. And then for maybe guests who they're called immersive overnights. And so if you want to spend more time in port, we do have these select itineraries where there is at least one overnight in every port of call. So it's, there you're definitely doing multiple shore excursions, seeing the city during the day, seeing the city at night. And, if you haven't really gotten into cruising yet, because you have this perception of cruising, of long lines and midnight buffets, but you want to spend more time in port, these would be great options as well. And so when we talked about the dress. Oh,
yeah, sorry. No, I just wanted to add, talking about these overnights, so I've found more and more people asking about longer destination cruising. So I love that. But I just wanted to kind of just really briefly touch on. So I've done some Mediterranean cruising myself a few times. And to me, for people who want to experience Europe, whether it's Northern Europe, the Baltics, Mediterranean, cruising is the way to go, right? You're not having to worry about planning all these hotels and transportation and a train. And to have the option for these overnight stays, longer stays, you can really see and experience these destinations, right, that you want to, without all of the logistical planning that comes from a land stay. And another big thing, so I did a pretty big Mediterranean cruise earlier this year on a big cruise line. And again, this is where like Regent will stand out that people may not think about. But when you dock in one of these ports on Regent, you're going to be docking right in the city center, right, as close as you can possibly get. And a lot of times on the big ships, you may be docking 20 miles out and then have to take a shuttle or catch a bus. So there's just all these other things that, again, it really makes small ship cruising with Regent a fantastic experience, honestly.
And not to mention unpacking one time, and that's it.
That's key.
Yeah. So we talked about the dress code, but I had the slide in here just to show it's funny, that they did give us the style inspiration when we updated our dress code here in August. But so the dark denim, so sophisticated, stylish, jeans. And just to give people ideas, of course, I think it's easier for men because, these days men, that is, you wear jeans and a jacket even, but remember, jackets are not required. As long as you have a collared shirt, that's you're going to be great for dinner. So just a little
this
style
all just looks like it just looks like normal attire to me. Nothing special or you have to like do all this extra work for.
No, not at all. And you get the laundry included, so you can pack less, and that's another win, I think, in itself. And so we did talk about this as well with our family of brands. Donovan, you already know what you want to ask, of course, but it is great. If you sail in the Haven on NCL, why not book Regent and the whole ship is the Haven? I think eventually you have to leave the Haven, right? And you have to go out in the general population, but why not just go ahead and come on Regent? And so with Oceana, but it is a great opportunity to share statuses between all three brands.
I love it. Yeah, no, and you're spot on. If you're somebody that would normally book the Haven, you're booking the retreat on Celebrity, you're booking Yacht Club on
Mhm.
MSC, all of those ship within a ship concepts, which are fantastic, right? They're fine. You can just do that on the entire ship, and you can do that with Regent with so much more still included, because even with those ship in a ship concepts on the other lines, not everything is included. There's still extra charges. Certainly not shore excursions are not included on any of those. So um yeah, I mean it's just a winning proposition. I love it.
Yes, I agree. And I know I said before, but I mean, once you have that experience, you don't want to go back. You don't want to. So
So I'm just curious. I would assume kind of a standard, like the shortest Regent cruise out there is probably, I would say, 7 days. Just and
yes,
I'm just throwing that out there.
yes.
But if you're someone like you wanted to do like the longest cruise possible, what does that look like?
Well, the world cruise is 140 nights if you're interested in that.
Wow,
Yeah. I
that's
think it's
incredible.
you can do a round trip Miami, I believe it is for 2027.
Okay.
And we're actually open right now through spring of 2028. So
Yeah.
uh to plan ahead, I mean, a lot of people really they need to plan ahead. I'm a planner, but the
Yep.
best deals you'll get is booking far in advance because typically our prices increase, as you get closer.
Mm-hmm.
But look and see. If you've got this a big anniversary coming up in 2027, a big birthday, and you want to do something really special, I think that
Now's the
it's
time.
a great idea. Yes, now's the time. And we do have Black Friday deals going on right now, but nothing that far into,
Sure.
that we have available out there.
Sure. And I just want to tell folks who are watching live or may watch the replay later. I know, whether you're planning your very first cruise or your cruise pro, but you have listened to everything Jodi has just so wonderfully told us, and you're like, man, I want to try Regent Seven Seas, but in either of those, like you just don't even know where to start. You're overwhelmed. There's so many options of ships and destinations. So you can cut all that out, guys. That's where we come in to help, again, talk with you, understand what your priorities are, what you're looking for, what your experiences are, all of those good things, and help to match you up with the right ship, the right itinerary, with the very best deal possible. And again, just make all that planning and selection just as simple as possible. So I would just encourage anybody, if you're interested in exploring Regent, right, head over to our website. All of our links are in the bios and video descriptions, but head over to our website, schedule one of our cruise planning calls, and let's sit down and talk about what options could be out there with Regent, or with any cruise line for that matter, to get you paired up with the right cruise for you. And I love what you mentioned, because again, those milestone things, right, that are in the future, planning ahead is just the way it's just the way to go. So now is really the time to be doing that.
I absolutely agree. And honestly, having somebody plan this for me, things like this, you guys have access to deals, you have access to, extra onboard credits or amenities that
Hmm.
you can add because you are a travel advisor, because you have these connections like this and connections with me as being, the partner with the cruise line. So, and it doesn't cost you any more to book with a travel advisor. So it honestly, it's a win-win, and I wouldn't want to book without a travel advisor.
It just makes, and I come from a place prior to opening our agency, but being that type A planner and did all of the things. So I understand where some people maybe have a hesitation towards using a travel advisor. Or it's so funny because I hear this all the time. They're like, travel agents, that's like something from the 80s, right? And I'm like, no, we're still here. Just it's kind of changed a little bit in what we do and how we support our clients. It's really much more full service these days, I think. At least in our agency, I mean, we help with everything from the excursions to your flights, your hotels, again, selecting the cruise and supporting you all through that without, just like you said, without charging any types of fees or anything. But yeah, definitely. We work very closely with Regent, with Jodi, with many other cruise lines, and have some fantastic relationships with them where we are able to get better than direct rates, extra onboard credits. It's funny because I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, everything's included. So if I was to get like a $500 onboard credit, what would I even spend it on? I'm sure there's shopping to be done.
The salon and the spa.
Yep.
You can upgrade and do a paid shore excursion, of course.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, in the boutiques, they're very nice. You could find something to spend some money on. And even with our Black Friday offer right now, we've got $500 shipboard credit offered on these dates. So, but you'll spend it.
Well, I'll tell you, if I can't find a way to spend it, I know somebody who can, and that's my wife. So she has no problem doing that.
Right. If you give me the money, I'm going to spend it,
Awesome. Well, very good. Well, Jodi, this was a lot of fun. We will definitely have to have you on again in the future. Yes. It was so nice to just really kind of scratch the surface level. So yeah, maybe in the future we can bring you back on and dive in a little bit more detail, maybe look at some more itineraries and things. But really appreciate you giving us some of your time today to help our viewers and our clients learn more about your cruise line and ultimately help to get them booked on their next vacation there. So thank you so much.
Happy to be
Everybody,
here.
thanks for watching today. Again, head over to our website, eoktravelco.com. We've got all of our links in our bios. We would love to talk with you and start planning your next cruise vacation. Otherwise, we will see everybody. I think we have one of these next week. There's so many scheduled. I have lost track of them. So check social media. The schedule's there, but I think we'll be back next week with another great partner. But yeah, have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Jodi.
Thank you.